Hey Dom, this is Dave Desai. Today I want to get into Jung Kook on his new show. I also wanted to talk about people believing the "Are you gay?" question towards Jung Kook was answered during an iHeart interview. And then I also wanted to talk about and get into the Busan concert a little bit. But before we do, I have an announcement, so let's roll that clip. I want to talk about Raycon, today's sponsor who supports this channel. And of course, if you do buy Raycon, you also support this channel as well. Raycon, you already know, is the best place to buy audio products. The earbuds specifically are half the price of the other premium earbuds on the market, but they have the same quality, if not better, than the premium ones. After all, they do have over 50,000 5-star reviews, so that has to be for a reason. The new earbuds have a new gel tip that fits perfectly and will not budge, I promise you. Other cool features they have are like tapping the right ear to increase the volume and tapping the left to decrease it, tapping 4 times for Siri, and tapping twice to answer a call. And there's so much more. The battery life is 32 hours and 8 full hours of playtime. I use Raycon all the time to call a friend and fangirl over K-pop with. And this is perfect because the new ones have a built-in mic. So please check it out. There's literally no risk. If you're unhappy, you can return it and it's free shipping to and from. If you go to buyraycon.com/DaveDesai or use the link down in the description, you can get 15% off your Raycon purchase. So please make sure you check out that link and thank them for sponsoring today's video. The Busan concert has been the talk of the town for a while, and I think this might have been a bad-ish decision for HYBE, sort of. Like, I don't know how much they pushed it or how much they tried to get media coverage for it versus how much of the media coverage was organic. So if you didn't know, companies can send in press releases for things like this and get a lot of media coverage if it's interesting. And with BTS, I would imagine pretty much everything sent to news sites would be covered. The obvious appeal and interest of this concert is that it's free and it will be 100,000 people attending. Since it is free, even without promotion or media coverage, the 100,000 seats will likely be filled anyway. So what is my issue with the large media coverage around it? Well, people seem to have some sort of really unrealistic expectation of the show. People thought that since Busan was a part of it, maybe they were expecting a similar New Year's Eve type of celebration where there's like big sets and it's a whole thing. We don't know if that is what's going to happen or not, but people were assuming not. Apparently there was a trailer that was released by staff and people had a problem with it. I could not find this snippet or trailer, so I have no idea what people are referencing, but there were claims of the concert looking the same as any other BTS concert. Apparently some armies were saying this is it and disappointed. But I do want to talk about that. Even if the concert is exactly the same as every other BTS concert, I don't see how that is surprising. I really wasn't expecting the whole world to be lit on fire here, and BTS usually puts on a great show anyway. Like, it's still going to be a better show than most other artists. I think people's expectations are super high. Busan basically came out and said that they won't fund it. So unlike other government events that maybe have an enormous production with 100 backup dancers, they are usually funded by the government and could possibly have a much bigger budget. Since a lot of the money from this Busan concert is going to be coming from HYBE's wallet, then you can expect that it probably won't be able to be anything more than what HYBE would usually normally spend on a concert. And who knows, it could be a lot more. But I never had the expectation of that because so many people are already dying to see just a regular BTS concert, let alone a free one, and then expect the world. But just some quick notes, the concert is free and free to watch online. So if you don't get one of the 100,000 seats in person, you can still allegedly stream it for free on Weverse. So don't use any illegal streaming sites for this, just watch it on Weverse. Chances are their servers will be able to better handle the concert stream and maybe better quality. But of course, aside from that, you will be supporting the boys directly, as there may be ads on the stream or anything like that that will make the boys and HYBE a bit more money. So the cost isn't a complete loss. I want to say that I am glad that this particular event is getting attention because it's so iconic and historic. But of course, I am just upset at the alleged backlash. I think everything that gets really big will get backlash. A lot of artists struggle with this. They'll reach commercial success and do really well, but due to the backlash of anything that they do, they'll have their mental state go down. Sometimes they'll find themselves happier with slightly less attention and less sales and money, if that means finding a more devoted community that is not mocking them all the time. And a lot of artists will choose to go indie after being mainstream over this reason. And of course, some of them just don't like making pop music. But yeah, anything that gets a lot of attention gets hate. A good example of this is the BTS reality show Run BTS. The show is so niche specific, and you typically might only watch the show if you're a big BTS fan. And if you're not, you really wouldn't enjoy it or even sit through an hour of their show. And if you do, then congrats, you a fan, not a hater. Run BTS is a variety show show that BTS does where they play games and try out new activities. Since BTS don't attend Korean variety shows, they do this on their show as their own way to connect with ARMYs better. They seemingly were one of the first that decided that they were no longer participating in TV or big variety shows in Korea and then making their own show and distributing it on social media. I tried to react to a bunch of these variety shows and definitely will be doing more Run BTS 2 on my Patreon, so if you want to join us over there for a good time, then I will link the Patreon in the description. But BTS has been back in full swing on the reality show and they released a new episode called Fly BTS Fly. This was them essentially just doing these acrobatic things, and it's so funny to see them do this and their reaction to them being in pain, because these things look easy, but I am definitely assuming it is not. There was a scene where Jungkook was struggling to get on the thing, but he did, and it looked quite effortless and beautiful. He was told to make a reaction to the camera to show that it was effortless for him and make it look like it's easy. He flirted with the camera a bit with his eyebrows, which drove everyone crazy, and then he smiled away the pain. After that, he changed his reaction very quickly to show that he was actually panicking inside, and it was actually very hard for him. A quick reminder that social media is not really what it seems, and it's easy to pose and make something look easy in a photo. I mean, I think most of us can smile and pose in front of a camera for 0.1 second, and while still being in immense pain. Some people were saying that Jungkook was panicking inside and wanted this to end and stop, which honestly, if that were true, big mood, because every time I do something, it's like, stop, I want this to end, I want to go home. But I am so proud of everything that the boys have been doing. I have been very excited with Jungkook because he hasn't been promoting left and right himself, but it's been mostly just promoted by either ARMY or Charlie's fans and his team. So it has been getting radio play and a lot more mainstream reach without too much Jungkook effort. Charlie is still getting press interviews for the song and questions over Charlie and Jungkook's relationship. GQ has this series called Undercover, and if you haven't seen it, it's a series where celebrities make a fake account and go stalk their comments or tweets and basically answer them with a fake account. It's funny because then the person who receives the answer is unsure if this is the real Charlie or not, and it also holds people accountable to know that their comments will be read and to not be so mean. Charlie did this series a few days ago, and one of the questions was that if Charlie and Jungkook were now best friends. Charlie answered that they can't understand each other, but yes, they are besties. Of course, the question here then becomes, how can you be friends or even besties when you can't even speak to each other? I know some people who have gotten married and they barely speak the same language, and sometimes it works for people because two people can just physically be there for each other without saying much, listening to songs together, or things like caring for the person, cooking for them, and even just being intimate are all things that transcend language. You can obviously do this in a friendship too, but I would also imagine the majority of Jungkook and Charlie's relationship is through text, since they might not have much time to hang out every day. And so their relationship can actually be quite real and deep if they are expressing themselves through text. So I do believe they both can be good friends. Charlie Puth actually did another interview that raised eyebrows. When iHeart made it appear like Charlie was implying that Left and Right was written specifically with Jungkook as maybe the inspiration, given the song is about love and thinking about another person so much, people were saying that Charlie was implying a relationship with Jungkook. The music video also pushes that narrative. People were saying that this answered the question of if Jungkook was gay, and that behind the scenes, Charlie may have already known what Jungkook's orientation is. But this is all still just an assumption. When Charlie talks about the song, he addresses the song as romance rather than a relationship or crush. He talks to iHeart to say that I've always been enamored with how Jungkook commands the stage, so why not showcase that in the video? And then basically calls Jungkook a friend that he can't get out of his mind in the iHeart article. Now, to me, it's clear that writing the treatment for the music video was when Jungkook was thought of, not for the song writing process. I think Charlie had Left and Right written for a while and had this concept for a while, and I think he was just thinking how he could take the song to the next level and what he could do to make the song better, and ultimately decide to do Jungkook on the track, to which case only the video itself would be with Jungkook completely in mind. And it doesn't mean that the two have a romance or that Jungkook is interested in dating Charlie, just that the two like each other. But what do you think of this? Do you think that Jungkook wanted to stop and leave Run BTS over the difficulty of it? Do you think that Charlie was saying that Jungkook likes men and is dating Charlie? And how do you feel about the people upset over the Busan show? Let me know what you think. Make sure you check out my Patreon for more videos, link down below. Thanks for this lovely comment right here. Love you. Bye.